maybe the number that's killing Case more than anything is the fact that they've punted 4 times. Rochester's only had 1 punt officially in the half.
Well, Brazen Zubik, 10 of 16, 168 yards and a touchdown for Rochester. He has passed for over 200 yards 7 times in his career, and it could be number 8 tonight. Here is the kickoff. Rochester will have it to start play in the second half. The kickoff caught back at the 15, returned out close to the 25-yard line. Good coverage by the Spartans.
Wade Self on coverage for the Spartans.
Bringing that back was Kobe Ham. He has been held pretty much in check tonight, has not gotten a lot done. They used him on an offensive sweep early in the first quarter. And specializes in those kickoff returns, but has not had an opportunity to do those much tonight. We are underway here in the second half. 1st and 10, Yellow Jackets. They lead it by a score of 14-0, and so the Spartans defense will have to step up again as they did last week. Onyeruka on the first play, bounces off a tackler, goes to the outside, gets across the 35, out close to first down yardage near the 38-yard line.
Well, the only time Case stopped Onyeruka was in the final minute of the first half when he got stuffed on the second to last drive for Rochester.
9-yard pickup for Onyeruka, who had 42 yards rushing in the first half. 2nd down and 1 from the Rochester 37-yard line. Just underway, 3rd quarter. Lights are on, and they have taken full effect now here at Case Field in Cleveland. Zubik back to throw on 2nd and 1. They got it middle of the field. It's caught by Newman, the tight end.
That's that seam route we've talked about in the first half.
All the way into Case territory, inside the 40. He'll be marked down at the 39-yard line. 24-yard strike to Thomas Newman, the big tight end. He had 31 catches a year ago. And they have gone to him tonight on multiple occasions as well. Well, break huddle here. 1st and 10 at the Case 39. They have Richard Brunette in at tight end now. Onyeruka lines up far to the left as a wide receiver. They will hand this one up the middle. That might have been Labano on the carry.
That was the fullback, Joe Cicero.
Cicero gets the call. Onyeruka lined up wide left as a wideout. Cicero gets down to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 4, and it's 2nd down and 6.
Well, here you go. You have Garrett Kessel lined up just off the hash marks to the right.
They'll hand it to Onyeruka. He is hit, falls forward, gets back close to the line of scrimmage.
Dale
Rich
English.
Doolin and Dale English in there on the hit. But you're right, Ed. He always manages to fall forward. Very difficult to knock Clarence Onyeruka off his feet and get him to go back.
Well, he officially loses a yard on that play, but he was hit 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and still managed to stretch himself out for only a loss of 1.
So a 3rd and 7 facing Rochester now. They lead it 14-0. The football at the 36-yard line of the Spartans. Big series here early in the second half. The Spartans trying to stop the Yellow Jackets on 3rd down. They'll hand to Onyeruka. Makes for the middle. He is hit and knocked down short of the first down. Wade Self was there. English again there. Lost his helmet. Doolin was there defensively.
This is 4-down territory for Rochester. It's a little long for their kicker, Antonucci, who coming into tonight did not have a college point.
It is 4th and 2. Onyeruka picked up 5. The football is marked at the 31-yard line of the Spartans. So there is some decision-making going on the sideline for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, well, they have 8 seconds on the play clock.
Now 6 and 5, 4. Zubik calling out the signals. They got the play off. Here's Onyeruka. He is hit. I'm not sure he made it, Ed.
He didn't get it.
He got to the 30. The Spartans make the stop.
There's that spark that Case was looking for.
Spartans get a big defensive play there from Ryan Ferguson. and Dale English, and the Spartans stop Clarence on Uruka. They end up a yard short.
Well, let's see if the Spartans can reverse the trend that they suffered through. That was the second quarter.
Yeah, they just were not able to move the ball at all. And now Eric Olson comes back out in the shotgun. 4 receiver set, 3 to the far side. He'll roll that way, fires to the sideline, wide open to Metalsitz, makes the catch, gets out across midfield before he is finally hit and tackled. Big gainer there to Brian Metalsitz. That goes for 20 yards all the way to the 49-yard line.
Well, that was one of the problems that Case had in the first half, was managing to keep Eric Olson standing upright. Well, he was taking a 5-step drop and was right in the middle of the pocket. The first play there, you saw them move the pocket outside the hash marks, outside the tackles.
3 receivers set. Secre is in the backfield. They'll go to Manny on a little screen to the far side, right side of the field. Secre is out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. They'll give him the 44, and it's a 5-yard pickup. They used that play effectively early. Secre with the catch. He'll line up in the backfield behind Olson. Now Olson will back up. Secre to the right of the signal caller. Eric Olson, the junior, out of Bethel Park, PA. 2 receivers on each side. 4 in the game for the Spartans. Olson calls out the signals, takes the snap, draw play to Secre. He is hit, spins around, and is held down at the 45-yard line. Nice play inside by the Yellow Jackets. See if we can pick up who made the stop.
Well, Brandon Pigeon was there initially.
Chris Bickford got in there as well, the senior defensive end out of Willits, California. 3rd down and 6 for the Spartans from the Rochester 45-yard line. Olson on 3rd down will go to Secre, this time to the left side, makes the catch, gets to the 40, puts his head down, pulls forward, down to the 37-yard line. 1st down Case, as Secre used a little bit of a power game at the end there, Ed.
Well, and Kobe Ham was upset that he managed to pick up the 1st down. He tried to rip the helmet off of Manny Secre.
Yeah, they were really gouging at that football. Secre secured it, got the 1st down all the way to the 37. 1st and 10, new set of plays for the Spartans. 3 receivers line up on the right side. Olson looks left to Secre, makes the catch, spins, is hit out of bounds, and a late hit.
Well, and it not only was it out of bounds, but it was to the head. It was up high.
Jordan Hangio is guilty of the infraction. He hit Secre high and out of bounds. There's your personal foul call.
Kanan Webb is talking to the official, trying to plead his case, but no doubt.
We'll see where they mark this off from, Ed. It looks like they were starting at about the 36, but I thought Secre had more yardage upfield than that.
Well, what happened was he stepped out at the 36, took a couple of steps forward, and then took the blast to the helmet.
Yeah, you're right. That must have been where he stepped out initially. So it goes all the way down to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10, Spartans almost in the red zone, not quite. Olson will look over to the sideline. A new play flashed in. 3 receivers set on the right side. They have Zach Scott alone on the left. They'll gun it, and it is intended for Scott. He is interfered with, and they're going to get Hangio again. Kobe Ham taps the helmet of Hangio as he'll get called on the defensive pass interference. Zach Scott was the intended target. 9:31 to go, 3rd quarter. Case trying to march down. This ball will be marked at the 15-yard line.
It should be 1st down. Yes, it is.
1st and 10. Case.
They have nobody in safety coverage. Nobody over the middle.
9:31 to go. Clock will not start until the snap. Scott again lined up alone on the left. Secre is in the backfield. Metalsitz and Rice over on the far side. Back to throw into the corner of the end zone. Olson for Scott, and it's knocked away. incomplete. Angio got in there on the defensive coverage.
Well, Rochester was going to bring it all, and they did. They went man-to-man press coverage up on the line of scrimmage. They brought 7. Case managed to do a nice job of picking it up, allowed Olson to throw the ball to the back corner of the end zone.
Second down. Second down and 10 now from the 15.
Same coverage. No safety in the middle.
Lapsevic is in the near slot position on the right side. Metal sits in Rice over there. They will go and hand the ball to Secret. Cuts it over to the left side as he hits the line of scrimmage. And we'll see how much forward progress they give him. It didn't look like a lot. He may only get 1 yard on this.
That's tough recognition there. Olson has to see that and either back out, call a timeout. You can't run a sweep into a 7 or 8 or 9 man front the way Rochester was showing that. They're walking the safety into the box, and there's nobody over the middle, over the top.
Third down and 9 for the Spartans. They will fake the play to Secret. Now they gun toward the end zone for Secret. He makes the catch as he slides down inside the 5-yard line.
It'll be first down, even though it was underthrown. I think Olson has realized how open Secret was and didn't want to overthrow him.
They faked to Secret running left. Olson rolled to the right and then threw back across to Secret, who was completely uncovered, but he had to slide down to make the catch. And the football will be marked at the 3-yard line. A pickup of 12 on the play. And the Spartans inside the 5 trying to get on the board, trailing it 14-0. They will go and hand to Secret. Reverse handoff. They'll put it into the hands of...
Is that Bryce Coleman?
Bryce Coleman, the tight end. He dives and hits the pylon with the football, and it's a touchdown. Coleman gets the reverse handoff from Secret. And the tight end out of Solon, Ohio, scores for the Spartans. It's 14-6.
Well, they wanted to go everybody right. They had a 2 tight end set, full T backfield. They gave to Secret from the left side of the formation, wanted to run right. He flipped it to Coleman coming back across the formation, and Coleman beat Rochester to the pylon.
Here's Vasso for the PAT. Spartans with their first home touchdown of the season. The kick is on the way. It is up and good. 14-7. The Spartans cut the deficit in half. We'll take a timeout. 8:35 to play in the third quarter. Your score, Yellow Jackets 14, Spartans 7 on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
I have this cool cash. What can I do with it? You can turn it into a hot meal at Rascal House. It's the best value in town. What do they have there? Buckets of wings, pasta, sandwiches, salads, and of course, great pizza. Are they open late? You bet. Open every night till 2:30 a.m. And you can even build your own pizza and order it online at rascalhousepizza.com. Cool. See you at the Spartans game? Yep. And see you after at Rascal House.
Well, the Spartans get the touchdown on the 3-yard run by Bryce Coleman. And it's 14-7. Spartans getting the benefit of a couple of Rochester penalties to help keep that drive moving. Nice toss from Olson to Secret for a key third down conversion. And then they pull out nice play in the bag of tricks next door, and they use the reverse.
9 plays, 70 yards. That almost doubled their entire yardage.
From the 10-yard line, wow. Roberson is hit and knocked down by Matt Davis on the return out at the 25-yard line.
Davis tried to put him out on Euclid Avenue. My goodness.
Yeah, he had a head of steam heading up to that hit. Out at the 27 is where they will mark him down.
Wow.
Willie Roberson is over there trying to figure out what day it is. Wow, what a hit by Matthew Davis, the Chatsworth, California product. Here come the Yellow Jackets, 14-7. They lead the Spartans. 8:29 to play third quarter. Back to hand off to Onyeruka. He puts his head down, gets close to the 29-yard line. Looks like Michael Harris was in there.
Kevin Nossum also there for the Spartans.
They'll pick up 3. Second down and 7 for Rochester. 14-7 Yellow Jackets. Brazen Subic with an eye in the backfield now. Onyeruka is the tailback. They lined up Roberson initially in the backfield. Now he'll line up as a slot receiver. Here's the snap to Subic. He will gun it. It's caught by Hayes. Lost the football. It's loose. Who wants it? The Spartans will have it.
On an incomplete pass. They're going to
say he didn't have it. Hayes looked to grab it for a moment coming across toward the middle and then lost the football, but it is ruled an incomplete pass. And a Spartan is shaken up on the play.
Is that Ferguson, I think, is down?
Could not see the number initially.
I believe that's Ryan Ferguson.
I believe I see Ferguson
Yep.
over near the huddle, Ed, so I'm not really sure at this juncture who the injured player is. We do have a timeout here for an injury. Both teams over at their respective benches. 14-7. Case trailing Rochester with 7:42 to go here in the third quarter. We will step aside for a brief timeout. We'll be back with more action from Case Field in just a moment here on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
In search of an extraordinary dining experience where you're certain to enjoy the ambiance as well as the menu? Table 45 Restaurant and Bar is the award-winning mixed culture restaurant located at the Intercontinental Cleveland, offering world cuisine created by accomplished local chef Zach Brule. Open every day, the atmosphere at Table 45 is relaxed yet inspiring with weekday chill-out happy hours, a behind-the-scenes chef's table, and outdoor dining on Patio 45. Call for more details or reservations at 216-707-4045 or visit us at tbl45.com or on Facebook.
Well, there you see the time left in the third quarter. 14-7, Rochester leading your Spartans. We welcome you all back and appreciate you joining us here tonight. As you can see, they continue to administer some aid down on the field to an injured Spartans player. And again, we have not been able to determine exactly who it is that is down on the field, but it appears to be significantly serious, Ed, as they bring out the cart.
It's a leg or a knee.
They continue
They're
to take a
fitting
look.
his leg with an air cast.
Greg Debelak has been out. They took the helmet of the player over to the sideline. The training and medical staff here at Case over there, as Ed said, administering what appears to be an air cast. And they have the cart brought out. And so the action is halted here while they attend to the injury on the field. It was a massive collision out there as Thomas Hayes was the intended target. It looked like he controlled the ball momentarily on the catch, but it popped loose very quickly. It hit the turf. Players feeling that it was a potential fumble went diving after it. And so there were about 4 bodies on top of each other. And the Case player did not get up. We may momentarily get a look here, and
It is.
and I believe it's Stephen Roby.
Yes, it is.
Well, Stephen Roby is going to be taken off the field on the golf cart, and it looks, well, we'll see. I cannot yet see which leg. But he is in a seated position.
They're going to add more air to the air cast. It's his right ankle.
Stephen Roby, the starting free safety for the Spartans. Jordan Banky is the backup.
Banky is currently on the field.
Roby tonight at halftime, well, actually with 8:35 left in the third quarter at the time of the Case touchdown, had 7 tackles on the night, 3 of them unassisted. So he had a very nice game in progress, and he was right in the middle of that play as well. Stephen Roby, the junior out of St. Charles Prep High School in Howard.
It'll actually be his left leg.
Yeah, left
he had
leg.
his other one kind of bent up underneath him.
Well, that obviously does not look promising at all, but you just hope for the best once they get in there and have a chance to take a look.
Well, they're going to put him right in the squad for the short ride across Euclid Avenue. Some of the best medical care in the country.
Well, we wish the best to Stephen Roby. That is a blow to the Case secondary.
So
Back to the action. 3rd and 8 for Rochester. From the 29-yard line. Subic to throw. Now he'll tuck it and run, and the Spartans catch up to him.
Short of the first down.
They get him at the 35-yard line. He needed to get out close to the 37 for a first down. Clock continues to move, and a 4th down coming up for Rochester. The Case defense holds. They trail by 7, 14-7.
Well, the secondary has now been decimated as 3 players are now out from the starting 5. Kerry Dieter, Michael Firamonte, and Steve Roby all out of tonight's game. Firamonte and Dieter did not play tonight at all.
Spartans will try and piecemeal it together. Here's Carson with the punt. Spartans came after it. He got it away, and it'll take a bounce Rochester's way and rolls a little farther into Case territory. It will be at the 34-yard line, and that's where the Spartans will take over. It went from the 34 to the 34. 32-yard kick, no return for Mike Carson. And the Spartans come out behind Eric Olson, the junior signal caller, and he will line up with Reardon in the backfield.
The Spartans have a right guard not on the roster currently in the ball game. Number 72.
Well, someone has changed jerseys, perhaps at halftime. Here's the snap. Olson in trouble. He'll tuck it under and dive back across the 35-yard line.
Rochester defended that screen pass very well. Olson with the one read, pulled it down and picked up a yard.
Reardon off, and Secre comes back on. Manny Secre, the freshman out of Miami, in his first career game here at Case Field. He has not broken off a big run like we saw last week, but a long way to go in this one. He's in the game right now. 4 receiver set, 2nd down and 9. Case operating in its own territory at the 35-yard line. 14-7 Rochester, 6:15 to play here in the third quarter. Eric Olson calls out the signals. He'll drop back to throw, guns it right side, and just overthrows his intended target over there. That was Brian Rice, the senior out of Newcastle, PA. Rice caught a couple of passes last week. The time overthrown, 3rd down and 9. Rice will drop out wide to the right again. Secre stays in the game. 3 receivers line up on the left. Eric Street is wide left. Olson rolling left, in trouble, looking downfield, guns it over everybody's head and out of bounds.
Wow, did Manny Secre come up with a huge block. And Greg Double X hot about something.
Yeah, he has got his hat off and threw the headset off and was unhappy with the way that play developed. 4th down and 9 for Case. So a 3 and out, and Olson will punt this one away. Boy, it's after plays like that, Eric Olson is glad he's the punter. Did not have to come to the sideline right away. Roberson is back deep. I believe Kobe Ham is back there as well. It'll be Ham to take it at the 35-yard line, trying to cut back to the middle, nowhere to run, and he is finally knocked down, and Kevin Nossum in there to notch the tackle for the Spartans. Christian Anderson in there as well on the special teams coverage. Well, the Spartans give it up on the punt. And the Rochester offense will come back out leading it by 7, 14-7. Spartans have scored here in the second half.
Over on the sideline here, the offense came to the bench, and Ryan Breon, the offensive line assistant coach, had a few words for his front five.
Onyeruka gets the ball. He gets out close to the 40. A pickup of 4 for the big man. Rochester will be at home next week at Falver Stadium against St. John Fisher for their home opener. They'll give Onyeruka 3 on that play. 2nd down and 7. The ball marked at the 39-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. Zubik calls out the signals. He will fire it out. Caught by Roberson across the 40 to the 45. Has a head of steam up, and they knock him down before he gets to midfield, but it's a first down.
Now, the linesman ruled that a lateral. As soon as the ball was released, the linesman pointed backwards to indicate that he saw it as a lateral. So
a first down run for Roberson all the way out to the 49. It's a 10-yard pickup. Still in their own territory, but by only a yard. 4:50 to play, third quarter, 1st and 10. Roberson lines up in the slot on the left side.
Confusion in the secondary for the Spartans.
And movement on the line. They're pointing at each other, and it goes against Rochester.
Thomas Norman, the tight end, is going to get called for moving forward. Rich Doolin reacted and then pointed, but Norman's going to get called for the 5.
They'll mark it back to the 44-yard line. 1st down and 15 for the Yellow Jackets. Well, the Rochester Yellow Jackets with a 4-game winning streak dating back to last season. They won their final 4 games after starting 0-5. 3 receivers set, 2 on the left, 1 on the right. Onyeruka in the backfield. He'll block. Zubik runs straight ahead. The Spartans catch him.
Adam Watson did a nice job getting rid of his blocker, coming across the formation and dropping Zubik.
He wrapped him up at the 45. Picked up 1. 2nd down and 14 for Rochester now from the Yellow Jackets 45. They lead the Spartans 14-7. 3:48 to play here in the third quarter. Spartans have scored here in the third on a touchdown run by Bryce Coleman. Same formation, 2 on the left with Roberson in the slot position. They have Kessel on the right. They will hand it to Onyeruka, 2nd and long. He heads straight up the middle, and the Spartans clog the middle and knock Onyeruka down at the 48-yard line.
The entire linebacking core was there. Jake Adams, Wade Self, Kezem Nassam. And at the bottom of the pile, Rich Doolin.
3rd down and 10. He picks up 3. Football is at the 49. Big play here. Spartans will try and stop him on 3rd down. Zubik in the shotgun, calls out the signals. There's the snap, drops back to throw, fires deep, and no one home. Garrett Kessel, I think, was the man who was supposed to be there. He stopped and turned about 20 yards away from where the football landed, incomplete.
It was one of those read routes where Zubik saw one thing and Kessel saw the other. He broke the route off. And that's the one when you let go of it as a quarterback, you're just hoping that you threw it far enough out of bounds. Because if the defense has a free safety, can float over and just play center field.
2:45 to go, third quarter. Here comes the punt from Mike Carson. He will get it away. Calabrese will let this one go. It goes out of bounds. And we'll see how far the official runs up the sideline. They will say this one sailed out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
Carson gave it one of those rugby-style punts. He took a couple of running steps to his right before he got rid of the football.
27-yard kick. No return. And so the Spartans will take over at their own 24, trailing it by a score of 14-7. Eric Olson in his second game in a Spartans uniform after transferring from Division II, California University of Pennsylvania. They'll pitch it to Seacray. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. A flag comes out.
Bryce Coleman's going to get called for a hold or a block in the back, one or the other.
They're yelling the penalty over to the Rochester bench. It is a holding call against the Spartans. They will mark this one back from the 24-yard line and set it down at the 14. First down and 20 for the Spartans. 2:34 to play in the third quarter. A long way to go in this one, but the Spartans down by a touchdown. They do have the ball, but a long field in front right now. First and 20 from the 14. Olson with Seacray in the backfield will fire it to Metalsitz. Makes the catch at the 10, 15, 20. Back to the middle of the field to the 24. He is hit and knocked down. Chris Bickford was in there on the tackle. Spartans get back to the original line of scrimmage.
That's a bread and butter play for the Spartans. We've seen it over the years, Dave, but tonight it just seems like it's developing a little slower than it has in years past.
Metalsitz will line up on the far right. Three receivers stacked to the left. Seacray is in the game to the right of Eric Olson in the shotgun formation. Second down and 10. Spartans picked up 10 on the play to Metalsitz, and now Olson will fire it for Metalsitz again. He had a step on his man momentarily, but leaping into the air was Cole Valco, the junior cornerback, who knocks that pass down, incomplete.
There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
1:34 to go in the third quarter. They're over there talking to the Rochester bench and Scott Green, the head coach. And it is against Case, and it's going to be declined. An eligible receiver. It will be declined. They will take the incompleted pass and set up a third down and 10.
It had to be an interior lineman the way Ryan Breon is acting, and because it came from that side of the field. There was only one receiver over there, and he served as the end of the line. So same formation here. So it had to be an interior lineman that drifted downfield.
Third down and 10. Case operating at their own 24-yard line. 1:34 to go, third quarter. 14-7 Rochester. Olson to throw. He fires to the sideline. Metalsitz brings it down. Did he hang on? He did after taking a big hit, and a flag comes out at the end of the play. The pass is good for first down yardage all the way out to the 38-yard line. 14-yard pickup.
Give the offensive line credit there as well. They picked up a nice stunt by the front four of Rochester. Gave Olson plenty of time.
Personal foul call against Rochester. And it looks like they will tack it on to the end of the play. And the Yellow Jackets, again, Ed, self-destructing a little bit.
Well, some of these big penalties, Case fought out of a 1st and 20 hole and managed to move the ball 40 yards.
They're in Rochester territory now as they walk off the penalty all the way to the Rochester 47. Seacray gets the handoff, cuts it back to the middle. Ankle tackle at the last second. He's tripped up near the 42-yard line. Zach Cicero kept Seacray from breaking into the defensive backfield.
And Spencer Miller also there. Miller had a hand up and forced Seacray in not quite where he wanted to go. Case went with the unbalanced line there. Same formation, Dave. They've got three offensive linemen to the left side of the center. Bryce Coleman is the official tackle on the right side.
2nd and 5 after a 5-yard pickup by Seacray. Football at the Rochester 42. 45 seconds left to go, third quarter. They will hand it again. This time it's Reardon. He breaks ahead for some extra yardage after the initial contact. Dives inside the 40, down close to the 38. Looks like he'll be just short of the first down. 28 seconds left in the quarter. We'll see if Case tries to run another play.
They're going to go that same way again. Unbalanced to the left with 3 linemen to the left of center Mike Allen.
Christian Anderson at fullback. Reardon is the tailback. 3rd and 1. Olsen takes the snap, drops to throw, fires it, caught out in the flat by Zach Scott, and he's pushed out of bounds near the 25-yard line. It's good for a first down. They'll say he's out at the 26 with 3 seconds to go in the quarter.
They're going to wind the clock as they set the ball down.
That will do it for the third quarter. Case marching here. They are at the Rochester 26. Through 3 quarters, your score, Rochester 14, Case 7. The all-important fourth quarter coming up next on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
This year, Qdoba will cater like 10,000 parties.
Where? When? I'm there.
Well, these parties are hypothetical. I was just talking about Qdoba catering. Hot taco bars with fire-grilled chicken and marinated steak, flour tortillas and taco shells. You'll also get their hand-smashed guacamole, cheese, sour cream, lettuce, and salsa. They'll deliver to your home or office, and they'll even set it up.
Can I bring a guest?
Oh, boy. Visit Qdoba.com today for more information about Qdoba catering. Qdoba Mexican Grill. More to explore.
Well, strap yourself in as we head to the fourth quarter. 15 minutes to go here in the home opener. Rochester 14, Case 7. Spartans starting to move the ball a little bit better in the second half than they did in the first. And they've been helped out by a couple of ill-timed Rochester penalties. Right now it's 1st and 10 from the Yellow Jackets' 26-yard line. As we get underway here in the fourth quarter of the football game, they will hand the ball to Manny Secret, the freshman. He is folded up as he gets inside the 25-yard line. Wow. Big hit there applied by Rochester. Big number 95, Bill Campy. Got in there and ended up falling on Secret.
As successful as that quarter was for Case, they picked up 100 yards in offense, and they held Rochester to just 25. They still only have 163 yards in total offense for the football game. Unbalanced again to the right.
2nd down and 8 after a 2-yard pickup by Secret. 2nd and 8 from the 24-yard line. Case trying to tie it up. They trail it 14-7. Olsen to throw, good protection. Now he gets flushed out of the pocket, got rid of the football. And it is an incomplete pass as Olsen was feeling the pressure there.
Seemed to have happy feet. When the initial read wasn't there, Olsen's feet got a little choppy and then were unsettled throughout the rest of the play.
Kanan Webb was coming in defensively, and that chased Olsen over near the sideline. 3rd down and 8.
Anderson checks out as the fullback. Metal sits back in the ballgame.
Case looks a little confused offensively here, and they'll take a timeout. Greg Debelak says everything's okay. We used a timeout here, but it didn't look like Case was ready to run an effective play there, Ed.
No, they were unsure as you saw them run players in, run players out. Metalsitz came in. He went wide to the left. Lapsavic wanted to be in the slot and all of a sudden wanted to come to the sideline. Was unsure overall where he needed to be.
Gives us a chance to remind you that the fireworks night tonight here at Case Field is presented by Denny's All-Nighter, which opened at Case Western Reserve this fall. Newly added concept is located in what was formerly the Silver Spartan Diner. It's managed by campus food service provider Bon Appetit Management Company. Unique quick service eatery fills a longtime student demand here at Case for late night dining. For more information about Denny's All-Nighter, visit dennysallnighter.com. We appreciate the fine sponsorship and support of Case Athletics by Denny's All-Nighter. (14-7) Rochester. Case down by 7, but operating in Rochester territory. Key 3rd and 8 play now for the Spartans. Olsen calls out the signals, drops back to throw, looking downfield, hit as he lets it go, and it ends up out of bounds, incomplete. Metalsitz was the intended target, but that one sails out of bounds. 4th down and 8, and decision time for the Spartans.
Well, they really have no choice, Dave. I think they have to go for it here. A field goal would be over 40 yards. Vassal's 1 of 3 on the season. The only one he connected on was from 24. And down by 7, a field goal still means you got to score a touchdown to pull out ahead.
Well, it would be a 41-yard attempt, and so they elect to go for it on 4th and 8 from the 24. Eric Olsen with 3 receivers on the left. And time is called now. Nope, they didn't get the timeout called, and the play clock goes down to nothing, or did they get the timeout? A flag came, and it looks like it will be a timeout. They're going to wave off the flag. So Case got the timeout called, but right now, Ed, you're down to 1 timeout, and that could definitely play a factor later.
I'm just surprised, as effective as they ran the ball at the end of the third quarter, the final 2 minutes, they ran in that formation where they were off or unbalanced to one side or the other, and they just used the 3 linemen, they used the fullback, and let Reardon and Secret find their way for 4 and 5 yards, 6 yards a carry. I'm surprised they got away from it. Now, they did throw with backside out of that same formation, but then they got a little bit pass happy, it looked like here, first couple of plays of the third quarter, and have found themselves stalled out at the 25-yard line.
So it's still 4th and 8 from the 24-yard line, but Case down to 1 timeout with 14 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Eric Olsen calls out the signals. 3 receivers on the left. Look out for the blitz. Here it comes. Olsen in trouble. He'll go. Oh, he gets away. Still on his feet at the 30. Let's go with the football, and it's picked off. Rochester with the interception. Brendan Pigeon picks off the pass and steps out of bounds. It would have been Rochester ball anyway. He stepped out of bounds at the 14-yard line, so in effect a 10-yard punt, but an interception thrown by Olsen. Case will give it up, and Rochester will take over as they hold Case out of the red zone.
Olsen did a nice job of getting away, and in traffic had to make a decision and just threw it in there and see what he could get.
Here come the Yellow Jackets now. And they will hand the football straight up the middle. I believe that was Joe Cicero again, the fullback. Helping the ball carrier up. Well, maybe it wasn't Joe. Chris Labano getting the carry. Number 33, the junior out of Brooklyn.
Michael Allen returns from the locker room. Allen was not out there on the final 3 plays of that series. He came back riding the golf cart.
2nd down and 8 from the Rochester 16-yard line. We'll hand this one, nope, fake a handoff. Zubik throws it to Thomas Newman, the tight end, makes the catch, and is down at the 22-yard line. They pick up 6, and it'll be 3rd and short yardage for Rochester. Boy, a couple of these Rochester players have those bright yellow shoes. Jordan Casper, one of their offensive linemen, is wearing them. Garrett Kessel, one of the receivers. Every time I look down there, I think a flag has been thrown. It's the exact same color as the flag. All right, Kessel lines up in the slot. Eye in the backfield. Zubik to throw. Looking downfield. He's in trouble. Spartans will catch him, and he goes down at the 15-yard line.
Wow, Zubik was lucky to get the ball back in. He had it hanging out, and as the Spartan defense collapsed around him, they swatted at the ball twice. He managed to tuck it in and secure it.
Dale English with the sack there, Ed, as he gets closer to that school record. Came into today's game 6 away. He records another there.
Brian Calderon.
Calderon had 30 and a half during his stellar career here. 4th and 9 now. Here comes the punt from Carson. Another low-line drive kick. Calabrese fields it on a hop, tries to turn it back upfield. He gets into Rochester territory.
Boy, the coaching staff at Rochester is pointing at the turf and talking to the officials. Not sure what they want or what the call is.
Well, it bounced, and Calabrese made the grab, and certainly he was not down when he fielded the one bouncer from Carson.
3 of them, including Green, head coach Scott Green, came running from their position, talking to the official on the far side and pointing at the turf.
Well, Case's defense with the sack does a tremendous job there, and they get Case good field position. They'll take over at the Rochester 44-yard line. They will flip this one backwards to Lapsevic, and he gets back across the 45 to the original line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Did Secret flip that one to Lapsevic?
Yes, he did.
The initial handoff went to Manny Secret.
But Lapsevic took such a big arcing line back through the backfield that it gave the Rochester players plenty of time to recognize the end-around reverse.
Olsen to throw. Fires it to Zach Scott, middle of the field. Gets down across the 35 near the 32-yard line.
Boy, Scott got hit. The first thing he did was put 2 hands on the football, covered it up, and protected the ball.
Scott, the wide receiver out of Imperial, Pennsylvania. He's just a junior. Also is the holder on place kicks for the Spartans. He gets him a first down as Eric Olsen connects.
Just a little basic 7, 8, 10-yard squat.
1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. They'll flip it out. It's caught by Lapsevic across the 30. Cuts it back in. Gets to the 25, maybe to the 24 before he is finally tripped up.
Metal sits through a nice block out there on Ham. And Kobe Ham not happy.
Zach Cicero tackled Lapsevic to snuff out the run. 7-yard pickup, 2nd down and 3. Olsen will work from the shotgun. 10:05 to play, 4th quarter, 14-7 Rochester. Here comes Olsen running to the right side, guns it downfield. It is caught, but Metalsitz was out of bounds. Metalsitz running out of bounds.
Well, he's lucky he caught the ball out of bounds, because had he caught it inbounds, Case would have got called for an illegal touch, as he had stepped out of bounds prior to catching the football.
Shola Fakarodi was there defensively for Rochester. It'll be an incomplete pass. 3rd down and 3 for Case from the 24-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. They'll line up an eye in the backfield. Secret is the tailback.
Unbalanced to the left.
They will go and hand it to Secret, running behind Christian Anderson. He is hit and didn't make it. Knocked down behind the line of scrimmage by Big Bill Campy.
Bill Campy just pushed him down. It looked like he just put his hand on his shoulder pads and shoved him forward.
6'2", 285. Gave him the forearm shiver.
Eddie Secret, 5'10", 172. Another 4th down situation for Case.
4th down and 3 from the 24-yard line. 9:24 to go, 4th quarter, 14-7 Rochester. Olsen in the shotgun, takes the snap, fires it to Lapsevic, makes the catch, gets away from a tackler, dives across the 20, and that move gets Case a first down.
Was that Zach Cicero that he shook the tackle from, I think?
Sean Lapsevic, the 5'7" freshman out of Presto, PA, and you talk about Presto, a magic act there to get some extra yardage for a first down. Wow. He gets to the 19, so a 5-yard pickup on 4th and 3. New life for the Spartans. 1st and 10 from the Rochester 19. 6 on the play clock. Case in trouble. Olsen in the shotgun. They just got it off. Now he's in trouble. He's got to do something with it. Metalsitz makes the catch. Maybe got one on a quick out to the sideline. Metalsitz makes the play. Second down and 9 for Case.
Well, that play is only effective, Dave, if you believe that there's going to be a play fake. If the play fake is sold, or if the running game up the middle has been effective. In either case tonight for Case, that has not been the situation. So it's just a quick swing pass to the near side, short side of the field. Everything gets bottled up, and it's all on the receiver to make something happen in that situation.
Play clock is moving now. Rochester had to get someone off. There was a player shaken up or an equipment problem, and now they are set defensively. Second and 9 from the 18-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. Case with the football marching, down by 7, 14-7. Olsen to throw it, drops back to throw, it's picked off. Threw it over the middle, intercepted by the Yellow Jackets. Brendan Pigeon picks it off.
For the second time in the same area.
Second interception, he had 2 a year ago. And you're right in the same spot. That drive stalls out on the interception. First and 10, Rochester from the 13-yard line. Boy, Ed, you just don't know how many times you're going to be able to call on your defense. They have answered the call here in the second half, and they are going to be asked to do it again.
Rochester has just under 20 yards in total offense in the second half.
Back to throw. Zubik is caught and sacked by Rich Doolin.
That total is going to go down even further.
He was sacked back inside the 10, all the way back at the 7-yard line. 6-yard loss. Rich Doolin made the tackle on Devin O'Brien last week. In the final seconds on a 4th and goal from the 10-yard line to seal Case's win. He records a sack here to make it 2nd and 16, and now Rochester operating at their own 7-yard line, but leading it 14-7. Zubik takes the snap, drops back into the end zone. He'll fire it out, middle of the field. It's caught by the big tight end, Thomas Newman.
A late flag.
And a flag comes in. And this one will likely go against the Spartans. I didn't see a late hit there, Ed, but perhaps the officials did. Personal foul against Case. And so
I'm not sure for what.
There were 2 defensive players there for the Spartans.
The play happened, there was a tackle, and then all of a sudden a late flag. I'm dumbfounded as to what that flag was for.
So they go from the 7-yard line. They get the completion to Newman, tack on the penalty yardage, and it goes all the way out to the 42-yard line. A 35-yard swing. First and 10, Rochester from their 42. Here's Onyeruka. He will put his head down, no yardage as he gets knocked back. Case has not been able to do that very often. Doolin was there, and Dale English was there. No gain on the play. Second down and 10. Still time in this one, 7 minutes. Now 6:55 left in the fourth quarter. Still time, but it is waning. And Rochester will take their time now. They'll break huddle with 10 on the play clock. Trying to get Roberson set on the right side. They have 3 receivers over there. Onyeruka in the backfield. Now 1, and they get it off. Zubik to throw it over the middle, intended for Newman. It's incomplete. Third down and 10 coming up for the Yellow Jackets. A little surprised they didn't run it on that play.
So am I, right?
Yeah, you got Onyeruka back there.
And at this point, Case has 2 enemies. They have the Rochester Yellow Jackets and the clock. Case has already burned 2 of their timeouts. Surprised that you wouldn't continue to run it and take another 40 to 45 seconds off the clock.
Now at 3rd and 10. Zubik will drop back to throw it. He will fire it over the middle. There's Newman again to make the grab. Thomas Newman with 2 clutch receptions on this drive for the Yellow Jackets. They get it all the way across midfield to the 46-yard line. First and 10 into Case territory from the 46. Yellow Jackets back to the line of scrimmage. No receivers spread out wide this time. Everybody tight on the formation, high in the backfield. Here come the Spartans. They will hand it to Clarence Onyeruka. He dives across the 45. He is hit and again knocked backward. The Spartans, Matt Davis getting in there on the tackle. Also there, Kevin Nossum, the linebacker. They get to the 44. Second down and 8. Clock moving with 5:33 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's the home opener for the Spartans here at Case Field. Spartans trailed 14-0 at the half. They have scored here in the second half, but have not been able to tie it up. Rolling out to the left. He's in trouble. Zubik gets the pass away, and it's incomplete. Newman trying to get over there to run under it. Zubik was in big-time trouble. Got rid of the football to avoid a sack.
And again, the clock stops because of the aggressive play calling of the Rochester Yellow Jackets. In that case, Zubik would have been better off just taking the sack.
Yeah, you're looking at a long third down anyway. It's 3rd and 8. Probably would have been about 3rd and 13. As it is, the incomplete pass stopped the clock with 5:12 to go. He'll call out the signals, 3rd and 8. Big play here for the Case defense. He rolls left again. Zubik fires. Catch is made out there by Hayes. He is hit and knocked out of bounds near the 32-yard line. It's good for a first down. 12-yard pickup. This time Thomas Hayes on the receiving end. Another third down conversion for the Yellow Jackets. Case will have to dig deep here. Rochester getting deeper into Case territory. They are at the 32-yard line, leading at 14-7. Eric Olson trying to stay loose on the Case sideline. Zubik will try and keep it himself after faking the handoff. He is caught and tackled by Wade Self of the Spartans. He gets to the 31, a pickup of 1, and that will keep the clock moving. And the Yellow Jackets will take their time in the huddle.
And they'll snap this with just about 4 minutes remaining on the clock.
Second down and 9. Boy, had Case had the golden opportunity deep in Rochester territory and then had Rochester pinned back at the 7 before the Yellow Jackets were able to break out of it and move downfield.
That was 4.5 minutes ago.
Zubik calling out the signals and takes the snap. He'll run behind Onyeruka, breaks it to the outside, has running room, 25 down to the 20, has a first down. A scramble by Brazen Zubik, the senior, and he is showing some veteran leadership here on this drive.
Well, and with the first down, it'll be about 2 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock. Case only has 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, remember, Case had to burn 2 timeouts early in the second half. 3:35 to play in the fourth quarter. 14-7 Rochester. The Yellow Jackets driving. Onyeruka gets the handoff. Michael Harris grabs him. Ball comes loose. Let's see if he was down.
No, they're going to give it to Case.
Spartans recover the fumble as Michael Harris hit and threw down Clarence Onyeruka, and the ball came popping free, and the Spartans recovered. Boy, now that is an upset. Onyeruka lost the ball. Credit Harris with the aggressive tackle.
Rochester has done everything in this second half to allow Case to get back in. And the Spartans just haven't been able to walk through that door.
They'll start at the 24-yard line. Here's Seacray trying to turn it back toward the middle of the field.
fumbled the
He
ball.
lost the football, and Rochester thinks they have it. If they do, it'll be at the 15-yard line. Secret lost it. Who has it?
Wow. Coach Green's out beyond the numbers.
It looks like Case recovered. Case recovered the football.
They're going to rule him down.
They'll actually make an announcement here. It'll be second down for the Spartans.
If they rule him down, they have to put the ball back to the 20-yard line.
Well, the officials will talk it over. 3:11 to play here in the fourth quarter. 14-7 Rochester. Secret got the handoff, appeared to lose the football. They're saying he was down.
Coach Green looking for an explanation.
The football will be marked at the 20-yard line.
Cameron Webb has some equipment issues with his shoulder pads.
So, Ed, you're right on top of it again. They do mark it at the 20. Second down and 14. Case needs to move the ball and move it quickly. They are down by 7. 3 minutes to play, fourth quarter. The snap goes back to Olsen. Looks downfield. Rushed out of the pocket. He dropped the football. A flag comes out. Olsen covered it.
What a disastrous 35 seconds so far for the Spartans.
2 plays, 2 fumbles. And a hold against the Spartans. Well, the Big Blue moving the wrong way.
I think Rochester might decline this.
It is declined. Third down. The football all the way back at the 15-yard line. So you're looking now at a 3rd and 19 from the 15-yard line of the Spartans. Here we go. 2:48 to go, fourth quarter. Case needs a big play.
Blitz coming both sides.
Here comes the blitz. Olsen to throw. Deep downfield. Underthrown. Zach Scott was the intended target. He is tripped up by Kobe Ham after the ball sailed through, and timeout will be taken by Case. It'll be their final timeout.
Almost had another interception. That ball was well underthrown.
Yeah, Ham was actually closer to catching it than Zach Scott. 2.5 minutes to go, and coming up at it'll be the ball game. 4th and 19 from the 15-yard line. Greg Debelak, Derek Slesh, the offensive coordinator. Jerry Shuplinski, the special teams coordinator. Marcus McCullough, the defensive coordinator for Case. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, Scott Green trying to snap a string of 4 consecutive season-opening losses.
Well, and some other news and notes, if the Spartans fail to get on the scoreboard, it'll be the first time since the 2006 season that the Spartans failed to get to double digits. Last time they didn't do that was a 13-6 loss at Wash U, where Dan Whalen had 5 turnovers in the ball game as a freshman.
Eric Olsen ready to go in the shotgun. He takes the snap, rolls to his left, now back right, guns it deep downfield for Metalsitz. He dives and cannot make the catch. Metalsitz trying an over-the-shoulder grab. It's incomplete out at midfield.
And the Spartans will start 1-1 on the season for the first time since the 04 campaign.
Eric Olsen right on target to Metalsitz. He tried to look over the shoulder and guide that in, a la Willie Mays, and it just goes off his fingertips, incomplete. Case turns it over on downs. The Yellow Jackets will have it. Case does not have a means of stopping the clock now. 1st and 10 from the Spartans 15. Onyeruka carrying the football. He holds on to it this time. Harris and Self in on the tackle.
I am surprised that Rochester didn't just kneel down.
They handed it to their mail carrier.
You begin to think that you start having those kinds of situations and Miracle at the Meadowlands start running through your head.
Onyeruka fumbled a moment ago, giving the ball back to the Spartans, but Case could not do anything with it. Now the rain starts to fall in earnest. And Ed, I think the heavens are weeping.
That may cancel the fireworks show as well.
Timeout called by Rochester. Scott Green comes out from the sideline clapping as his offensive unit surrounds him. 1:42 to go here in the fourth quarter. I want to thank all of the folks from Media Vision here at Case for helping put our broadcast together tonight, particularly our producer, Mike Becker. Nick Meinert is the sports information director here at Case Western Reserve University. Thanks to Rick Bischoff for stopping by earlier. Vice President for Enrollment Management here at Case. No game next week. It's the bye week for the Spartans. They will have 2 weeks to think about this game tonight before taking on the Denison Big Red in an afternoon game at Piper Stadium 2 weeks from today. Brazen Zubik, the senior, will hand it up the middle to Onyeruka again. He plows forward back close to the 15-yard line. 1:30 to play, clock moving. Case cannot stop it. Case 25-10 all time here at Case Field. It will soon be 25-11. Case came into today's game having won 40 of the last 45 games that they had suited up for. 3rd and 12. Here's Onyeruka again. Spins to the outside. Makes for the sideline. He is tackled by Ryan Ferguson. Ferguson trips up Onyeruka back at the 15. It'll be a 4th down with 45 seconds left. The clock still moving. The play clock at 30.
They'll take that all the way down under 10 seconds. Call a timeout. And run one final play.
4th and 11 for Rochester. 13 on the play clock. Well, Ed, missed opportunities for the Spartans tonight, playing shorthanded. A thin defensive secondary, missing their starting left guard, Tony Opperman.
Well, then his replacement also went down.
There's the timeout taken by Rochester. That is their second timeout.
Well, with 10 seconds left, what they'll probably do is have Zubik roll to his right, use up some time, and fire one as far out of the back of the end zone as he can, as long as it goes to the, as long as he's outside the pocket and gets the ball forward. By the time the ball lands, the clock will have expired. So Scott Green will use his intelligence here, try to use up the entire 11 seconds on the clock, not give Case an opportunity to even have one creative play left in the book.
10.8 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. We hope you'll join us 2 weeks from today from Denison University. We'll be on the air at 12:45 Eastern Time here on case.edu.
They're going to kick a field goal.
They will set up for the field goal as Alex Antonucci will attempt a 33-yard field goal.
Odd because of the risk of a block and a return here.
Here is the snap. The kick is on its way.
He got it.
And that baby is right down the middle. That makes it 17-7. Counterintuitive, but successful. 10-point lead with 6.7 seconds left. And now the Yellow Jackets will kick off to the Spartans.
It's a mere formality as Case can't score 10 points in 6 seconds.
Very rare to score 10 points in 6.7 seconds. You know, Ed, you look back at this game, Case had certainly some opportunities early in the first quarter. They were turned away, knocking at the door. Here in the second half, they had been given some gifts by Rochester on some key penalties and turnovers. I think the coaching staff will review this game and see a lot of missed opportunities. Certainly missed opportunities to tie it up.
Well, Rochester left that door wide open, and Case they couldn't walk in. They couldn't take advantage of it. But I think some of it as well, you have to look at what the decisions of the coaching staff. It seemed to be very effective running the ball on the unbalanced line. And they got away from that in the first drive that they had inside the 25-yard line, looking to tie the score right as the fourth quarter started.
Here comes the kickoff from Antonucci. This will likely be the final play of the football game. Low line drive kick. It will roll to Middlesitz. He scoops it up at the 20, runs straight ahead. He will be hit and tackled at the 38-yard line. That's your ball game. Clock expires, and there is the final score. Rochester knocks off Case Western Reserve 17-7, snapping a 3-game losing streak against the Spartans. And they come up with a season-opening victory to go 1-0. Case drops to 1-1.